Today I have 4 primary topics to speak with all of you about regarding the latest update and changes that have come to the game. We're going to talk about AFK Farming and is it really dead? We're going to talk about the Wizard class and is that really dead? Trial of the Hearth, the event doesn't suck, and are people cheating in the Bout of the Realms event? Let's get into it. What's going on, guys? I hope that you're all doing well, having a great start to your day. I actually do like the latest update that just came to Diablo Immortal. I'm not talking about the massive update, I'm talking about the small one that just landed. We've also gotten some new essences that seem to be bringing some more options to many of the different classes for us, which many people really do like. I want to start out by talking about the Wizard class. Now, I played a lot of PvP yesterday with the Wizard, and I'm happy to report that the class is not dead. I was still able to do very similar work with my Wizard build that I had done previously. I was really concerned that the Wizard was going to no longer have any damage dealing elements to it because you had to be a lot closer to your enemies when doing damage, but it turns out the build that I'm currently using, which was actually shared to me by Tiffany, is really dominant even at close range. So the negative effects that happened from the Wizard class nerf don't actually heavily impact anything in PvP. So we're doing okay, a little bit weaker, sure, but definitely not a dead class. Next, shall we talk about AFK Farming? To do this, I'm heading to the Southern Dreadlands, which is the heart of AFK Farming. Typically, when you come over here, there's just a lot of AFK Farming going on, and well, what do you know? Yes, it is. So, changes have definitely come to AFK Farming. It is not the same as it was just a few days ago. You can't any longer just drop your character in an area and let it sit there all day long, because eventually now you're going to have acid pools come up from the ground and kill you if you stay still for too long. This is true. So yesterday I came over here to the Southern Dreadlands and I put it to the test because I really wanted to see what it would look like if I were to just let my character sit there for a good amount of time, what would actually happen. And we have an elite over here. Can I try and get this elite? And do we get a legendary out of it? We don't. Okay, that's fine. Turns out you can stand in one spot for a decent amount of time. It actually ranged for me, depending on where I was standing, from 5 minutes to 25 minutes before those acid pools would come up from the ground, or I should say before I would die. Now, I don't have an AFK farming build. This is the carpal tunnel build with the Wizard. It's not anything that's AFK. It's just spam skills, do tons of damage. So it's not like I'm utilizing a necromancer that could maybe sustain life even longer. But for average players that do AFK farming, that have an AFK farming build, you will see those acid pools and you will die. So AFK farming, the way that you guys have known it for the last few months, is no longer working. Except if you're one of the massive whales who was reportedly AFK farming for 2.5 hours plus with a very defensive set on, protecting him so he wouldn't die. Now, obviously this was a big spender in the game, but not saying that other players couldn't build something very similar to maintain life even through those poisons that come up from the ground. And there's a treasure goblin, which I'm going to ignore right now. So builds are going to need to be modified for AFK farmers if you want to AFK farm the traditional way. By this I mean go to sleep at night and wake up in the morning with tons of loot. That's basically dead unless if you get very specific and heavy into your builds. What now is more what works is lazy farming. So lazy farming is something that you can still go to the same place, you can still be in your party, and then every couple of minutes you just pop your skills and then you reset that timer of inactivity. If that doesn't work, you can move around, collect a bunch of stuff, go back to where you are, and then pop a bunch of skills and reset that lack of movement time. The way that I transparently play is when I'm not actively playing the game, when I'm not, doing my dungeons, doing my bounties, doing PvP, participating in events, I'll sometimes leave my iPad open on my screen or right next to me while I'm doing work, and I'll do lazy farming. I'll come around to an area, a lot of times the Southern Dreadlands, and I'll hang out in a group, and then I'll go through, I'll take down a bunch of enemies, and be there, but be lazy about it. There is a difference between lazy farming and AFK farming. So lazy farming as of today is still a thing. You could still party up, get that loot, and farm in a way that is probably not loved by many inside of the game, but it's definitely not AFK farming. And Trial of the Hordes now has been converted to Trial of the Hearth, which is actually a lot more fun than I'd expected. When you prompt in to play Trial of the Horde, you're prompted to choose your starting buffs or your gameplay drops. These can be in the form of the cards that we've been unlocking. The first costs nothing. I'm using Holy Nova. Notice it's costing none of this mana crystal, for a lack of better words. I like Holy Nova because it does give me some healing to keep me alive. Then you can choose your gameplay drops. These are what drop inside of the game while you're playing. To use these, it will actually cost you some of these mana crystals that you have been collecting over the last few weeks that you may not have even realized you were collecting. When you go into events, you go onto card collection, you'll see that you have a lot. Oh, mana crystals. All right, I was pretty close with the name of it right there. You'll see you have a bunch of them. You've been unlocking these cards over time, and these are the abilities that you can utilize in Trial of the Hearth. And I have to say, it adds a different element to the game, making it a little bit more exciting than we're used to, giving you additional abilities that you can pop during your matches. Besides that, it's a traditional Trial of the Horde event, but I like that it implemented some of this. Now, if you run out of the mana crystals, you can run these with absolutely nothing. You could run this with no cards at all, and it will give you randomly selected cards, so you still can utilize cards. So if you're someone that's actually trying to push in Trial of the Hearth, you may want to, at the lower stages, you may want to use none. And then as you push yourself up the leaderboard, you may want to be more specific with the cards that you choose so that you can have better odds of winning because you're being more specific with the buffs that you actually want to use in those matches. Just a little strategy there, but either way, have fun with it. It's a fun event, nothing crazy. As you can see, I'm sitting at number 20 right now, which is actually surprising. Maybe I'll push up a little bit higher. We have a little bit more time before this event's over. And hey, check it out. We're right next to Apollyon right now, another content creator from the space. And I did mention that I wanted to discuss the Bout of Realms and cheating inside of the Bout of Realms. Now, are you curious of what this event even is? Well, it's right here in the events tab where you're basically going to put together a team of 8. It could be cross-server as long as in the same server cluster, and you have the ability to go in and basically do a tournament. This does not remove your resonance. Check this out. Check out this cape. That is freaking sweet looking right there. Absolutely love that. Check out, you got your title. You have your frame that you can grab as well. Some legendary crests you can win. I did put a video out recently sharing all of the rewards that you get if you do happen to win this event. But let's dive deeper into what the problem people are having is with it. And I'm going to explain really what's going on here. All right, so Adventure says stacking the deck in a casino game is considered cheating and is illegal. For example, making it unobtainable for a person to reach certain Paragon levels, for example, 1000 Paragon, even while playing countless amount of hours, putting in more time and work than the 1000 Paragon level exploration, even when players spend their money into the game and in the shop. Proof is transaction history. You all harass people in-game, in chat, and expect to go unnoticed. There is cheating at the leaderboards in the Bout of Realms, creating a competition that has the dealer, Blizzard Entertainment, playing alongside lower Paragon level players, example 991, manipulating the system for the company's own personal monetary gains. All right, let me get into this. And by the way, Meteor Blade, who's very active in the forums, did chime in, saying a few things. First of all, it's completely possible to reach Paragon 1000 this week, and I 100% agree with that. I mean, take a look at my account. I'm Paragon level 988 right now on a 980 server Paragon level, and I haven't even collected any of my Battle Pass rewards, well, since it started. What was that, 2 weeks ago? All of these have been saved. So once I claim all of this, I'm going to have a massive jump in in Paragon. I could probably do that today. And as I mentioned, I'm only earning right now 40% rewards. I could do that today and probably get myself to 993, 994 just today. I'm waiting until Monday because the rewards I'm going to earn are going to be enhanced, and I'm going to get a jump right up to 1,000 super easily. But to say that it's unattainable, well, that's just not true. Meteor Blade goes on to discuss calling people out for things with no proof behind it and how that's against code of conduct. So good call out right there as well. But really, let's talk about what this event is really made for. And it's pretty straightforward and simple here, guys. You're able to team up with anyone within a server cluster to create the strongest team of 8 as you can to compete in this tournament. It is a whale tournament. This is an event right here where Blizzard is saying, thank you to all of our massive spenders inside of the game. Here's an event where you can show off the power that you've built up, that you've purchased, and that you've really added to your account. And you could utilize everything that you've done to support the game to benefit your progress inside of this one. This event is not for free-to-play players. Now, you can participate, and I urge everyone to participate. Play in it. Try your best. Have fun. But don't expect to be the top winner. If you're a free-to-play or a low spender, even in my position, I can't expect to win this. This is going to be won by a huge whale group that orchestrated and organized a team to go out to try and win, because they've spent tens of thousands, no, hundreds of thousands of dollars inside of this game to be strong, to get their character where they want, to get their normal gems and legendary gems where they want, and they've put thousands of hours of gameplay into it. So yes, this event is a event for whales. It's a thank you from Blizzard to whales so that they can now show off the power, win the exclusive prizes that you get for participating in this. And honestly, for people that are free to play, we should be thanking the whales for spending inside of the game and keeping Diablo Immortal alive, because without the big spenders, the game is not in the same great position that it's in right now that it would be. It would be actually struggling. If everyone's free to play, you can't pay the bills. So I'm okay with an event like this. I mean, I want this cape, but there's only going to be 8 dudes that get it, or 8 people that get it. And they're going to look pretty sweet when they wear it. I believe this is the permanent cloak that they will get for winning the Bloodied Crown cloak. Thing looks sweet. If you want more information on the event, it's literally all right here. It tells you about preliminaries, finals, championship, when it's all going down. I also have a video out showing you guys exactly what rewards you get if you are in first place all the way down to like 65th place or something like that. You will receive rewards, and you do get rewards just for participating. But overall, I think the update's on point. I think that it's doing really well, and I think that I think it's been a lot of fun. Trial of the Hearth, better than I expected. Let me know what you guys think of the update in the comments below. And just so all of you that watch me live, I am not going to be going live today. We'll be back live with all of you tomorrow. Have a great day, guys.